vibrate. Y'all know what it is. Matter of fact, let me know how the audio is. Like if it's too much wind, if it's too much wind to hear me, I'm gonna end up moving it to another time, another moment. So let me know how the audio is. Give me a thumbs up, say something. Person that is in here. Let me know how the audio, if it's too windy, we're gonna have to reset it for another moment. Matter of fact, speaking of spirit guides, as the air elementals saying, it's another moment. Again, give me a thumbs up or something. Let me know how the audio is. Nobody said anything yet. I think I do have the live chat. All right. Cool. Peace, everybody. All right, word. Yes, blessings and love, man. Blessings and love. And matter of fact, just want to chime in on a vibe that's been coming through for myself lately. You know, dealing with spirit guides, realizing that, you know, crystals, in essence, could be like a spirit guide, you know, in so many words, you know what I'm saying? By working with a certain crystal, that crystal is like, you know, your helper or your guide in that moment, you know, hence why, in essence, we work with crystals. Because I never really took it like that until I was chilling and for one, like realizing I would always be outside or whenever I'm like tapping in for like some, you know, to just amplify my awareness to that internal message. Like I always find myself outside, you know what I'm saying? And also, like what I had to realize, you know, beginning on my growth, you know, of course, I wasn't taught anything about spirituality on this level by my family, you know, anything like that. And that's not to, you know, again, we chose our family. So if anything, I would have to look at myself and, you know, be like, why you chose a family then, and then try to complain about them. You know, it's not no complaining. Just speaking the truth of, you know, I wasn't taught anything about, you know, like connecting with the animal spirits or, you know, connecting with nature on that level. Now, being from Louisiana, you know, being from that area in this realm, you know, you got a lot of indigenous vibes, the ancestors dealing with the mounds, you know, and so, again, like that energy of dealing with, you know, animal spirits, because in most cases, you see it more in the indigenous American tribes, you know what I'm saying, or the ancient indigenous tribes of what we call America. Now, of course, across the board, though, you know, again, animal energies, in essence, was always attached to, you know, most gods or deities, you know what I'm saying, whether you talk about the Hindu pantheon with Ganesha having an elephant head. You know, you want to talk about Kemet or Egypt with, you know, Thoth, you know, having a bird head, Basque or Sekhmet with a cat head, you know what I'm saying? You know, Quetzalcoatl with the Aztecs and the Mayans being like a flying feathered bird, you know what I'm saying? So there's a lot of connections, you know, with the animal energy. As a matter of fact, even one of the most popular aspects that you don't really have to be a part of any pantheon to connect with is like dealing with the constellations and the zodiac signs, you know what I'm saying, or the zodiac archetypes. Those are also connected to, different animals. But realizing, like, finding myself in nature a lot, and like I would always, and I never felt like that, I would always, like, I've been ignoring it in essence to this point, like realizing like, hey, of course you're connected to your multi-dimensional aspects of self. You're tapped into, the aspects of self that's not just of this earthly plane. But it was like, like, hey, though, these animals do have, a valid message, you know what I'm saying? And for me, like realizing certain animals that will pop up a lot, you know what I'm saying? That's one of the ways. So we're going to kind of also speak on like how you could tell, if a spirit animal is something that's, or what spirit animal you're meant to connect with. And let me slow down because I'm catching myself trying to rush through talking. Matter of fact, let me slow myself down. What up, everybody? But the animal spirits, and with the animal connection, you also see the expression of the elements through the animal. Like if the animal that shows up to you a lot is a water animal, then for one, it's letting you know kind of like one of the main energies you're connected with. So whatever spirit animal, and again, it's kind of one of those situations. I feel like whatever animal you see a lot or significantly, like it's just always this animal that just always like, damn, why, this animal just always pops up in certain moments, you know what I'm saying? Like, and it pops up in a manner where it's obvious, like, all right, this shit ain't, either it's not a normal situation or it's a lot, like it's like this animal always showing up, and it's usually in a manner where you're not even paying attention, and then it does something that gets your attention, in essence. A bird that might fly closer than normal, a certain animal that ain't normally in your neighborhood that is in the neighborhood. And again, it could also be an animal that you see a lot, you know what I'm saying? And the expression of, like, again, like if it's a water animal, like if it's a turtle or a frog, it's speaking to you being connected to the water and earth energy. If it's a bird, that's speaking to the air and earth energy, because it flies in the air, but it also nests itself, on the earth as well, and technically because of a tree, but still earth nonetheless. But you get to peep out like where the messages is coming from, you know what I'm saying? There's this message about something of the masculine energy. So, if the animal speaks to the fire or air element, and I think of fire, I would think of like animals that's probably like close to the desert or something like that, you know what I'm saying? Now, of course, you can also say mystical creatures, like whether you see a dragon with your first eye, or you walking in this dense dream realm and you see like a little dragon pendants all the time, you know what I'm saying? Or so it could also be a object or some type of carving or statue, or the actual animal itself, because some spirit animals not necessarily in our environment as well, you know what I'm saying? Like, so it would have to show up like as some type of like little ornament or statue or on a picture or something like that, you know what I'm saying? And again, it's gonna show up kind of with that energy of like message, you know what I'm saying? Like, it's gonna seem kind of like, all right, I need to pay attention to this. I thought about, like, say for instance, lions, like, most of us around here not gonna get no lion message. And matter of fact though, if you do live like, in the Americas and you see a fucking African lion walking through your neighborhood, and for sure that's like that's a spirit guide message, you know what I'm saying? But you get to pick up on, what energy the message is coming from, know what I'm saying? So the message could be coming from, the mother energy, so more so with the water, or the quote unquote princess or daughter energy, more with the earth, you know what I'm saying? But paying attention to the different elements that the animals connected to as well, is very important. And I'm going to get back into that, but also just a little breakdown on, the word spirit. Spirit, the Latin aspect of spirit is spirare, which means breath. Or spiritus, which also is connected to breath. And again, so when we talk about spirit, that's also, again, like a connection to the air element, in essence, because again, spirare, the breath, and notice it's like two energies within that word, because you got spirare or spiritus, and then you also got the letters PIR in there, which is like PYR, which is also pointing to fire, because pyramid, stands for the fire in the middle, like somebody's a pyromaniac, if that's the word. People like to set things on fire. You got the crystal pyrite, you know what I'm saying? And getting into the crystals, so the pyrite is like a message of, tapping in with the solar energy and the Mars energy, also connecting with the planets as well, you know what I'm saying? And it'll show up to let you know what energies to tap into. But again, spirare, is the air element, and the air element affects the fire element, because even when we breathe, and that's lighting that fire of our inner spirit, like that sparking that chi energy, that chi flow. And seeing that connection, spirit, the word spirit also connected to the word spiral, and spiral, just in a normal sense of the definition, it's a winding and continuous and gradual curve, whether it's widening or tightening up. But again, winding in a continuous and gradual curve, either around a central point, so like centripetal force or centripetal motion. Centripetal force is like something that's gravitating around something else, almost like orbiting in essence, what some people consider orbiting, as far as like, oh, this planet orbits this one. In essence, it's like a centripetal motion of like going around a certain center point, But again, either around a central point on a flat plane, or about an axis, to form as a cone. And this also points to, the torus field, because the torus field is like a spiral, it just got the two and also like the little arrows going in and out, which I'm gonna get into that aspect with the word exercise as well. But again, spirit, spiral, and connected to torus fields, and also we talk about torus fields, in the shape of a torus field, it's kind of like a donut. Our blood cells are also shaped like a torus field, what I'm saying? It has like this little donut type of shape to it, and no coincidence that blood cells is also how certain spirits travel, what I'm saying? Because when we talk about drinking alcohol, no good, bad, right or wrong, what I'm saying? You got to be aware of how you indulge, what I'm saying? Of course, being aware that, again, like, by drinking alcohol, it does open your aura up to different spirits and things of this nature. So, if that is something that you do partake in, being aware of how you partake in it and where you partake in those type of activities, but just to be straight up, you want to be aware of your surroundings when partaking in the spirits. But again, the blood cells is how certain spirits travel, because again, the alcohol goes through the bloodstream, and hence why consuming too much alcohol may harm the liver, and the liver is a major organ, aka instrument, that energetically stores emotions, and physically holds the most blood. So in the body, the liver holds, out, that's where the emotions energetically is stored at. And on a physical level, that's the area that holds the most iron. Like the liver, for lack of a better word, is the bloodiest or most iron dense, let's say it like that, the most iron dense organ in the body, you know what I'm saying, which will also make it, you could say, a conduit for magnetism or electricity, because iron can allow for electricity to be grounded, and it also, is a magnetic element as well. And no coincidence, again, we talk about the blood, also the kidneys, and I talked about nephrite jade, and nephrite jade, a green crystal, and the green is connected to also detoxifying the liver, But again, kidneys help to clean the blood, and no coincidence that the kidneys actually look like, like a Taurus field with a little gap in between, because this side almost looked like one kidney if I was to finish drawing that out, and then the other side, Just bringing some little, scientific facts to, correlate some things. And, what I realized also is like, when I'm taking dandelion root or any type of herb that helps to purify the blood or cleanse the liver, like it be so strong. Like literally I could sense like, this energy, and I done been there where, like this, say for instance, I probably like on a sugar binge, or I'm on some type of unhealthy food binge, which in some cases is connected to, you could say like a entity in the sense of what we create, because our addictions become like an entity. We got the, the sugar entity, the sugar addiction entity, or the whatever, all the different little, habits that we may have that turns into entities, in the sense of also like, it's almost like the spirit kind of be talking to you. And again, neither good or bad, right or wrong, but it is a energy to it, you know what I'm saying? Not necessarily egregor, because the egregor is more so a thought form spirit or entity formed by the thoughts of a bunch of people. But again, it's like these entities, like these little addictive or addiction entities, I find like whenever I would drink dandelion root or get ready to drink it, I could feel like this energy of like something kind of like, wanting to reach for that sugar even more. Because again, the more we do our work, and even right now being aware, to be patient with ourselves and trust, like as we continuously, work through our growth, and, it's certain aspects of the ego that's, transitioning. And when that ego sees that it's transitioning, it gets like off, it gets crazy, it gets wild, it really gets like, all right, if you're gonna drink this dandelion root, the first moment I get where you're not aware, I'm grabbing all the candy on the rack, you know what I'm saying, on that type of energy. But again, the dandelion root, very good blood purifier, and basically in essence, because that's what made me think about exercise, but not like the exorcise, because the Latin definition didn't seem to be in alignment. So more so like exercise, like exercize, which for the most part points to activity, in essence physical activity, it's like activity, you're exercising. And X, the prefix X is like to put something out, or or take something out, X, like how X is out of our life, you know what I'm saying, in essence. And then also X taps into the energy of meaning thoroughly. But you got X, like to X out, and then asare, Latin word which connects to keep in, keep away. So Arcere speaks to keep in and keep away. And I thought about like, all right, keep in and keep away. And I'm like, well, that in essence can make sense because again, exercise, you know, in most cases it got some type of motion where you like moving back and forth, like in and away, in and away, in and away. You know, you think about a bicep curl, in and away, you're exercising, activity. You know what I'm saying? And in a lot of cases too, like when we do exercise, you know, it's like exercising, you know, our quote unquote demons. And again, when we say the word demon, no good, bad, right or wrong, it's just that aspect of us that looks for, it looks to get its energy from an external essence. It feels like it's not getting its needs met or that it can't meet its needs on its own, so it looks outwardly. It feels like it's disconnected from source, you know. But again, like the exercise, you know, back and forth, in and out, back and forth, in and out, you know, and that's bring me back to, you know, out Taurus field. And again, that goes back to the breathing, you know, goes back to spirit being connected to breath, you know, connected to spire, connected to pyre, you know, connected to fire, you know, so the air and earth element, you know what I'm saying? And in the Hebrew letters, you know, the letter Shin is connected to fire and connected to, you know, in essence representing the energy of spirit. And that also, you know, tapping into the Sanskrit aspect, you know, prana, the life force, and yama, which is like to control or gain control, you know. And I know when you say control, it's like, oh, you're not supposed to, you know, control, you know, this, again, the English language, but, you know, controlling from a positive sense of the word, you know what I'm saying? But again, prana, life force, yama, control or gain control. So pranayama is the practice of breath regulation or breath control. You know, so also, and this is like when we talk about, you know, tapping in with, you know, our spirit guides as well, you know, having to be in a certain vibrational frequency like a radio, you know, and in order to be able to tune in. And when I say tune in, let's also get this, bring this to awareness. You know, the spirit guides are always talking, and in some way, form, or fashion, you always are listening in essence, you know. And what I mean by that, like, it's certain moments where you may do certain things not realizing that you were guided by, you know, your spirit guide, you know. And in some moments it be things that you think like, oh shit, man, I missed that bus. I was supposed to go there and this and that. Oh shit, well, let me just walk this way, you know, and bam, you see something that you was meant to see or, you know, connect with. So again, that the spirit guide is working with you regardless, kind of like the moon, you know what I'm saying? Regardless if you pay attention to the new moon and the full moon, it's gonna do its thing on them waters inside of you, you know what I'm saying? So it's having that awareness, you know what I'm saying? Like that energy is gonna you know, affect you regardless. And also, you know, our spirit guides in essence, you know, from the animal aspect, you know, from working with crystals, from, you know, an ancestor perspective, you know, this is all a part of our inner guidance. Because even with, you know, even though, like, say, for instance, I think about a crystal or animal we may see, again, the external realm is a representation of our internal realm, you know. So if I'm tapping into being grounded and mental clarity and, and having like a certain confidence to manifest things about myself, like I'm getting ready to tap into that energy, I'm gonna end up buying me a pyrite. You know what I'm saying? The pyrite is like the physical representation of you tapping in with that energy, you know what I'm saying? And again, not to say that, you know, like what comes first, the chicken or the egg, you know. The pyrite still in essence does what it does, you know what I'm saying? Just like you may, again, like we may know something from that, like, well, trying to think of, like, say for instance, like from a book or something, a certain insight or information that you already kind of done caught whiff of, and then you kind of line up with it in book form, and then it's like, oh, all right, this solidifies, you know, again, like the masculine and feminine coming together, you know what I'm saying, in essence. But, you know, seeing, again, like the spirit aspect connected to the breath, connected to the fire, so the air and the fire aspect. And again, with spirit guides, you know, it's an internal force, you know, we tapping in internally, you know, it's not like, oh, there's something outside of me that's not inside of me, you know, because that's when things could, you know, again, get lost in translation. That's another thing. Shout out to this little, you know, just like with everything, you know, you can't, I'm starting to see it more, you know, matter of fact, by Ted Andrews. It's a pretty good little book. Some stuff in there, like, because I feel like stuff like that, when you tapping into a certain, because even that's why, like, I always felt a little bit, you know, standoffish, or like about like presenting like voodoo and Santeria stuff, you know, hence why I don't do it no more, and even switching the way up of how I tap in with, you know, certain energies. But, you know, like within this book, you know, he brings up a certain meditation using certain names that I may not agree with. You know, I don't agree with just calling upon, you know, a spirit from a certain pantheon in that essence. But they have other stuff up in there, again, like, just like with anything, I realize, you know, you just got to discern and move through it, because there are some key parts, and then there are some things where I like, all right, that may not be for me right there, you know what I'm saying? But again, like, these are internal aspects. And one thing about a spirit guide, again, you know, just like the universe is always looking to help a source. The universe, however you tap in with that terminology, I say source, you know, the no thing, source. Like, source energy. Been a while. I was bringing up tapping in with source, tapping in internally, not using names, it'll come to me. Because I was also speaking to not externalizing the spirits. It's all right. That's an ambulance come to aid. And that's another thing too, you know, with speaking to different, like, say for instance, with like with the sirens and stuff like that, you know what I'm saying? Like, being aware, oh, that's what I was gonna say. Your spirit guides are always, you know, looking to help you, just like the universe is always saying yes, you know. Like, the only reason why it may seem like things are, like, you're not creating things, or like you'll feel like, oh, you know, things are going wrong, so it, you know, it gotta be something outside of me that's affecting this. You know, the only reason why it seems like this is, again, from a lack of awareness of self and a lack of awareness of the universal laws. You know, but the universe is always looking out for us, always saying yes to us, you know, so it's being aware that our spirit guides are like that too, you know. And like for myself, you know, realizing we're dealing with, you know, certain spiritual energies and certain pantheons, you know what I'm saying? Like, you know, say for instance with the Legba energy, you know, like, if you sense that there's a like an energy of things kind of not being in the alignment for your highest good, that may not be your spirit guide in essence. Because for me, I was like getting to a place where, like, all right, I'm seeing too much ambiguity, I'm seeing too much confusion, I'm seeing too much like trickery and shit. And it's like, all right, I know I want clarity, I know I want stability of awareness of what I'm being guided to. You know what I'm saying? So, hey, Legba energy, hey, whatever energy, back off. You know what I'm saying? Because again, you got to know that you're in control as well. You know what I'm saying? Not control from like a ownership, or like you're better than that being, or you know what I'm saying? But just from the perspective of it, you know what I'm saying? Like knowing that you creating your realm due to your subconscious and your perspective. So again, with that energy, you could tell the energy to back off. Like, and shout out to, one of the parts in the book where it was like, like, again, like, just like how you treat people. If, a certain person not in alignment, and it seems like it's some confusion or something dealing with that person, tell them move around, politely, with compassion. Like, I'm straight on you, you know what I'm saying? And the same thing with spirit guides as well, you know what I'm saying? So that's something to be aware of too, like this certain aspect, it's like, it may be, and again, like with our connection with our ancestors, it's like tapping in with the ancestors that are beneficial to our alignment. Ashe and much love to all ancestors, but as far as like when I'm getting information, it's like I'm tapping in with the spirit guides that are bringing forth 100% clarity, 100% truth, and 100% in alignment with what's best for my, my alignment in this lifetime, moving into the next, But, again, always remembering that these energies are always looking out for us. So if it seems like a certain spirit guide energy where things like, like a little off or something like that, you know what I'm saying? You can always, ask that energy to back off. Also, a few questions, matter of fact, coming from this book, like just simple questions you can ask yourself to kind of, find a more sturdier connection, because that's another thing that's been coming up. I mean, again, like, especially with this English language, you're gonna find it that, like, oh, I heard you say some of that in another video in the past. Like, again, it's just different perspective. Like 360 degrees. Like, just for the most part, the simple aspect of what needs to be said already been said. Just speaking on it continuously for the new people that's coming in, the newly awakened people, and from the perspective of again, like it's just this one form of information, but we could kind of like gain these different perspectives on the same subject matter. And what I was gonna say though is, cause that's what I was gonna say. Tapping in with, you see, appreciate y'all, love y'all for your patience. Self-empowerment, like right now more than ever, things about helping you to be empowered, so that you don't have to be dependent. Like, of course, I could teach a course about, how to do something, but for the most part, it's like, in essence, teaching or sharing, like teaching how to tap into your own inner awareness. That's what always been the thing for me, is like self-empowerment, and teaching how you could tap into your inner intuition so that you won't have to deal so much externally, and get to a point where the external realm start to serve more as a confirmation. You know what I'm saying? Like, it'll serve more as a confirmation than as, looking for the answer in the external realm. It's more so like it'll confirm what has already been tapped into internally. You know what I'm saying? So again, like, definitely tapping in, because, as things continuously shift, no telling with anything, you want to be prepared to be tapped in with your intuition, like, and not going too far off, connecting with the body, like, taking moments to just really sit still with yourself, peep out your body, like what energies you feel in your toes and your knees and your legs, that also helps. That's an exercise also to just be present in your now moment, and to help, get out of the mind or out of the mental noise, but it's like, sit down with yourself and kind of, feel the body out, feel things out, but definitely, again, like, just become, self-aware. And that's another thing too with tapping in with spirit guides, like, hey, spirit guide, what's the spirit guide to help me manifest my human stuff? What's the spirit guide to help me tap into the multidimensional aspects of myself? What's the spirit guide that's helping me to transition from out of the matrix without reincarnating? You know what I'm saying? Because it's a balanced situation. Now it's the vibrate. You're here now. So although, yes, this realm is not the end all be all, you know what I'm saying, and we're aware of this, at the same time, it's like not treating the now moment as a means to an end, like where we constantly so future oriented, to where we're missing out on the now. Because I realized that about dealing with crystals, like the balance of dealing with certain crystals that may promote, premonitions, Now, of course, again, a lot of us are naturally, psychic. It is what it is. We kind of get like a little insight of the future ahead of time. But I realize, you don't want that to an extreme, because then your now moment will constantly be focused on, what you may have had a premonition on, like where you're preparing, but like so far ahead to where you kind of, in essence, missing out on the now moment just a little bit, like, you kind of inching towards worrying about the future just a little bit too much, you know what I'm saying? Because even like with, whether it's tarot readings or astrology, you may, like with astrology readings, where it may be, the astrology reading for next month, like, all right, we in March, the astrology reading for June 2022, you know what I'm saying? It's like, all right, and yes, we do want to be aware of, certain things to come, just like planning a trip. If I'm planning a trip, I'm planning a vacation, and let's say in August, you know what I'm saying? I do want to, but that's it, in essence, like, let it be tied to something that you're planning for, and not just sitting around just doing it for the sake of, like, all right, because especially if there's things in the now moment that we're not tending to, but we constantly like, all right, I'm gonna fix it in the future. No, like, you're gonna fix it right now, and the universe gonna show you that you should be aware to stay up in the moment, to tap in with that. But with the spirit guide, like questions and things you could, like, ask internally to tap in with the spirit guides. Matter of fact, let's see. So, like, if you feel, so say for instance with the animal, let's start off with the animal spirit. And again, like with the animal spirits coming to you, without even having to go read about, oh, the hawk means this, or the squirrel means that, or a worm means this, before even going to a book, most of us have an idea of the habits and the way some of these animals, go about their lifestyle, you know what I'm saying? Like, I know a worm squirms in the ground, so it connects with the earth element, so I got a symbol I'm aware of already, you know what I'm saying? It's slippery, you know what I'm saying? So that could mean to be a little slippery, to move out of a certain little situation. It has more than one heart, you know what I'm saying? So it speaks to having a lot of heart about a situation. Earth Worms are very sensitive. You probably done seen where somebody put something in the ground, maybe like put an electrical shock into the ground, and the worms start coming up or something like that, you know what I'm saying? Because they could sense all the subtleties in the earth energy, you know, and they represent that as well, you know, so just like I talked about, like, you know, hey, like calm down, peep out your body, you know, see what's going on in your body. That's kind of like the worm energy. That's what the worm energy will be telling you, you know. So if you're all in your thoughts and you see a worm, that worm may be telling you, hey, ground yourself, you know, be more aware of your body. Because it's a balance, you know, everything, it ain't about, just about spirit, you know, just about the physical, just about the mental, just about the etheric, just about, you know what I'm saying? You know, it's like balancing out all those aspects. Now, of course, again, you know, we letting the soul or spirit or inner source, you know, be that guidance, you know what I'm saying, first and foremost, you know, or be that guidance and / mediator, but for the most part, you know, finding that balance. But again, like that worm energy, you know, is letting you know to be grounded. So let's just say, you know, you see a worm, and whether you go look up the aspects of what a worm represent, or you kind of already got an idea, all right, it may be saying this, you know. So you ask the question later, you know, because also like journaling with, you know, with this connection as well, to kind of, you know, solidify, you know, what you're picking up on, and it'll get strong as we bring awareness to the situation. You know, we get more and more obvious communication in essence, you know. But like, say for instance, again, after you see the worm, you could ask yourself, did this spirit information apply? You know, so like I saw a worm and I got grounded, and I went into my body, and now it's either one thing or the other. Either like after I listened to that message, but that didn't change nothing, or nothing happened, or it seemed like it, you know, wasn't, you know, even like, again, like it didn't do nothing for me, or it wasn't changing nothing, then, you know, again, that spirit information didn't apply. So maybe that worm ain't like the main, you know, spiritual message, or wasn't the spiritual message in that moment. But more so when we're talking about your main spirit animal, you know, it would be obvious, all right, again, did the spirit information apply? It didn't apply to my situation, so it's not about the worm, you know. Or like, damn, bro, I saw that worm, and then I grounded and did this little meditation. The next thing you know, this, that, and the third line up, and I had this synchronicity and this manifested, or whatever, you know what I'm saying? Then it's like, all right, that's an obvious fact that you want to, in essence, not only pay attention to, you know, the animal kingdom or queendom, so to speak, but pay attention to the animal symbols, but also pay attention to, you know, the worm, and know that the worm is like one of those, you know, again, we say animals, but it's like a spiritual representation of our physical being, and being in this physical realm, you know, because as above, so below. Think about this earthly plane like a bodysuit, you know, like a being, you know, like where the earth crust is like the skin, you know, because crystals is like carbon is to the earth's crust, like in essence, like what melanin is in, you know, the bodysuit, you know what I'm saying? So it's like that little correlation. But again, back to the question, did the spirit information apply? Also, and back to what I said about, you know, like, again, like if you see too much ambiguity and too much confusion with an energy that you think is your spirit guide, ask yourself, did this spirit contact cause trouble? You know, was there a lot of trouble, and, you know what I'm saying, like a lot of, and again, like when we say trouble, sometimes we may have upheavals or tower moments, but then things end up lining up like it was a tower moment for the, you know, for the best. But then you may have a situation that's like a tower moment, but then it's like, but things still seem to line up, you know, especially if you're continuously connecting with this quote unquote spirit, and it just seems like, you know, like, all right, every time I connect, it's like it gets more confusing, or like I'm not getting nothing from it, you know. So that also brings forth awareness as well. And kind of redundant to the first question in essence, but did it help in any way? So did the spirit contact or spirit information help you in any way? You know what I'm saying? And if so, again, like take note of that. And again, has the contact provided some form of like, happiness or positive change? And this doesn't deal with like, extreme positivity, like, it gotta be, but the end result, if something is working, again, like with our spiritual practices, it is meant to help us release trauma. Again, we embrace the fact that sadness exists, anger exists, and negativity exists. But, again, like we're aligning with the energy of spiritual equilibrium. But with that balance, it's like understanding the balance of the energies. But again, we tend to do things that are beneficial for us, you know what I'm saying? Like that helps us to be present, that helps us to, live our life and not have us all up in the corner, you know what I'm saying? So again, has this contact provided happiness or positive change? Or was it a overwhelming experience, Is there simply an increasing loss of a sense of reality? So after dealing with this if things seem to get like delusional or like you was in the illusionary world or illusionary realm, you know what I'm saying? Like, did it seem like I got like something that really applies to what's actually going on for me? Or did it seem like it brought me to like some facade or something like that, And also with the spirit guides, asking yourself, paying attention to like, in certain moments when certain things happen, is there a particular color that's always coming up? Is there a particular sound that's always coming up? Is there a particular fragrance, that's always coming up? You know what I'm saying? And that'll give you awareness, you know what I'm saying? Because again, from the earth plane, perspective of our spirit guides to the multi-dimensional high vibrational aspect of our spirit guides, you know what I'm saying? They'll have some type of, again, color, sound, or fragrance connected to it. But I thought about when I think about the fragrance, the first thing that comes up is, more so the earth plane ancestors, like where we might smell perfume that your auntie who transitioned used to wear all the time, you know what I'm saying? Things of that nature, you know what I'm saying? That's letting us know, what's going on. And in certain moments, like sitting there and asking, like, is there a guide close to me? Like, is, one of my spirit guides with me in this certain moment? Because that's another thing. We got different levels of spirit guides, where we got spirit guides that may be with us throughout our whole life. There may be spirit guides that's just with us for, a couple of days, and that's also in the essence of, with crystals. You got that certain crystal that you've been having since you first had your awakening. You first had your strong awakening, or even beforehand, it was a crystal that somebody gave you before you even knew what crystals was. And you still got that crystal 10 years, 5 years, whatever later, you know what I'm saying? Or some crystals, that piece of moldavite you got, you know what I'm saying? Work with it for a couple of weeks, but then because you probably either it was too intense or you was dependent on it too much, next thing you know, it's gone, you know what I'm saying? So also, again, like with the crystal kingdom, same type of energy. And again, the crystals as a whole, switching to the crystal aspect, is connected to the earthly plane, so that's kind of like a earth, is a mixture. Again, it is speaking more so strongly or mainly to the earth energy, but then depending on the elements that's involved, in essence, you could say the elements, the geometric structure, you know what I'm saying? All that goes into, you know what I'm saying, whether it's closely related to water, like say for instance, apophyllite. Apophyllite is, again, that's automatically going to be earth. It comes out of the crust, but apophyllite is known for having a high water content. you know. So apophyllite would also kind of tap in with the water energy. No coincidence that apophyllite helps with astral projection and with amplifying lucid dreaming, you know what I'm saying, amplifying being in the dream world or the astral planes, you know, which is very key right now to make sure we, you know, again, like having that equilibrium. We here in the physical, but definitely tapping in with the, you know, with the astral planes, tapping in with the lucid dreaming, you know what I'm saying? Because in essence, you know, again, this bodysuit has to transition at some point, you know what I'm saying? So we have to embrace the fact that we're going to transition and being aware of, you know, transitioning from, you know, out of the bodysuit. But bringing it back to that question, is there a guide close to me, you know what I'm saying? And you might feel like, that's another thing, certain feelings in the body, you know, like you could ask a guide, all right, my guide that helps me manifest material stuff from my human perspective, whenever you let me know something, give a little tingly feeling on my elbow, on my left elbow, you know what I'm saying? Like, again, like doing stuff like that to help, you know, bring forth a stronger level of clarity, you know what I'm saying, in that communication and in that connection, you know. This is more so for the earth plane, like more so the ancestors, you know, from the physical experience, so ancestors from this earthly plane, you know, for the most part. You know, if you ask the question like, all right, is this a male energy or a female energy? Because, you know, say for instance, as a soul, we're androgynous, you know, our soul energy is androgynous energy, you know what I'm saying? Like it's masculine and feminine, you know, in balance, you know what I'm saying? Or in a balance, you know, because it almost sounds like I'm saying imbalance. But, you know, both of those perspectives are in alignment with our soul energy. So when you ask the question, is this a male energy or female energy, in most cases, that's probably going to be connected to an earth plane ancestor, you know. And also with any of this, you know, like having to be aware to, you know, like the first thing that come to mind, you know, if you ask that question before any, like, get male, like that's what it is, you know what I'm saying? Oh, but you know, the first thing that came up was male, but you know, it could be a female, you know what I'm saying? First thing that popped up was male. That's what it is. And if that wasn't, let's just say, then it will show itself to not be true later on down the line. And again, this is for clarity purposes. It's not like we trying to sit around here just like, where our spiritual work is just trying to find out whether the spirit guide is male or female or not. You know what I'm saying? Nah, it's just a part of, you know, the process of, you know, gaining clarity in this communication. And again, like I just said, you know, asking the spirit guide, hey, identify yourself with a certain touch or a certain feeling. You know, make my left toe start to jump, you know what I'm saying? Or my left eye twitch, or my right eye twitch, or my ear get tingly. You know what I'm saying? Like, you know, give me, you know, some type of sign, you know what I'm saying? And you'll, again, start to see more of that, you know what I'm saying? Because I think about, you know, also, again, like exercising that muscle, you know, a little story time just the other day. You know, I just got a new crystal bracelet, you know, and I'm sitting down, putting it on the ground, letting it earth, let it get its little good cleansing, you know, and for whatever, it's not coming to me now, so I ain't gonna try to look for it, but I end up leaving it behind, you know, so I left it behind and went to the store, you know, and I'm sitting in the store, and also seeing, again, like how certain levels of guidance is not rational. You know, because here it is, ate a little food, didn't overeat, man, something little simple, little, you know, little vibe. And all of a sudden, I'm kind of getting a little, like, oh, man, I feel like, you know, laying down, you know what I'm saying? Well, let me go chill at the park, you know what I'm saying? Let me go back at the park where I was sitting at and go sit and ground, you know what I'm saying? Because, one of the things I've been doing a lot lately is like having a strong connection with nature. You know what I'm saying? Like having that, basically like just a cleanse. Like in some cases I be knowing that it's meant for me again to, like, even wondering today whether it was meant for me to, like do this video or not. But again, like I saw how things was guiding me to, work through the energies, you know. But like as I was getting, a little yawny again, I was like, all right, I'm gonna go. That's what I was talking about, connecting with nature. But anyway, it's like, all right, let me go to the park. So I go to the park and because that's another thing too. And especially, so let me say this, we're on the story of the peridot bracelet. But, just like with, having an altar space or a meditation space, whatever you want to call it, also creating these types of spaces in nature as well, when connecting with your animal spirits, sit by a certain tree or a certain area, and in essence make that an area that you constantly go to, and that'll kind of become like that little area, you know what I'm saying, to tap in. And also you could do this astrally, you could have your sacred spot internally where you either, again, visualize going to a certain garden in your mind, in your mind's eye on the astral planes, going to a certain little house, and then you go in the house and then go in this room, and that's where, your spirit guides be sitting at like a little council for you to tap in, and again, different archetypical aspects of yourself, but tapping in with, with these energies, because again, whether you want to attach a name to it in the sense of like, oh, all right, one of my guides is Kuan Yin, or one of my guides is Buddha, one of my guides is Shiva, one of my guides is Oshun, or whatever, you know what I'm saying? Again, it's a perspective of something that's internal. But now as I say this though, because that was the key with understanding a lot of this, again, like some deities, some spirits, again, their level of guidance and levels of connection is only connected to this earthly plane. And again, right now for a lot of us, we are remembering that this earthly plane is not the end all be all. So we got to be aware of, again, like what earth spirits we are channeling, you know what I'm saying? Like, and is it, again, like, asking these questions and, journaling and see, all right, am I really getting help, that's, truly helping me on my journey? Or is this something to probably like keep me, confused, or keep me, or trying to get me to externalize the energy, you know what I'm saying? Like, but again, these are all aspects of self, but be aware, like, again, like, certain beings or energies are only, on a level like as above, so below, more so connected to your bodysuit than your actual soul or spirit, in essence, so having that awareness. Back to the peridot bracelet. So I went back to the park because it's also like speaking to the energy of exercising your intuition. So went back to the park in that little area, got my sat down, and as I was about to get up and leave, I kind of looked at my wrist for some reason. I'm like, damn, my peridot bracelet missing. And I'm like, oh, I'm right back where it was, and I'm like, so when I was at the store and I felt that little energy to come back and chill in the park, it was like an energy to let me know, like, really is like the peridot energy, like, hey bro, you forgot me, you know what I'm saying? So going back, and I was about to get into that energy of, all right, just start searching with your two eyes. Just start searching. It's like, nah. It's like, first eye. It's like, I closed my eyes and I was like, all right, in the guidance, I held my left hand and my right hand out, and I was kind of somewhat in the area. I'm like, if it's to my left, let me feel a little energy. If it's to my right, let me feel a little energy on my right, you know what I'm saying? Felt the little energy to let me know it was to my left side. Turn to the left and look down. It's right there. You know what I'm saying? So again, like exercising that, that muscle. You know what I'm saying? Tapping into these energies, because also, at first I wasn't realizing this, but I'm starting to realize it more as I've been out, like grounding more and connecting with the trees more, realizing how much like how much I should say that it's important to, keep a piece of shungite with y'all, have an Oregon pyramid or some type of, tool that helps to protect from all the EMS pollution. So all the little Wi-Fi, cell phone pollution, because I am starting to see where that energy does feel like it may be like disturbing, like, the tapping in energy, you know what I'm saying? Because with anything, and it's something I realized upon the journey, you know what I'm saying? I done spoke to how, either good or bad, right or wrong, with like the agent energy. Like how even though you may be doing something that's in alignment for you, it may come off as like being an agent to somebody else. I always use the smoking cannabis aspect, but not, let's say, smoking tobacco, where you just quit, and this person right here, they still on their journey, but they kind of still kicking their little cigarette or tobacco vibe, you know what I'm saying? That tobacco spirit, you know what I'm saying, or energy gonna come off as an agent, you know what I'm saying, to the next person. But also with information, things are constantly shifting. So in one moment, I could be telling you, hey, pay attention to, the false stuff in Hollywood, pay attention to how they doing this and this movie and that movie. At a certain point, that may be something that is actually beneficial and highly beneficial for us to be aware of on our growth. And then in another point, that may be actually almost like being an agent, where it's not really meant in another moment, you know what I'm saying? Same thing with crystals or anything any and everything in balance and moderation, you know what I'm saying? Because even I had to realize with the vegan thing, it's like, all right, it ain't about that extreme vegan vibe, you know what I'm saying? Like, you gotta have some type of balance, or if you're gonna be vegan, again, like the balance between alkaline and acid, you know what I'm saying? So it's like, like you have to, again, like that equilibrium gotta be nimble, you know what I'm saying? Not going too much on any extremes, you know what I'm saying? And being aware of that, because again, one day's remedy is tomorrow's agent, which could possibly turn back to a remedy again, you know what I'm saying? But again, it's like, and that's why, keeping the awareness on point, with the intuition, with, spirit guides, ancestors, tapping into that inner guidance, because that's where those subtlety, those unorthodox messages come from. Because again, let the mind tell it. Once the mind catch a hold of something, it want to stick to it, because it's easy for it to, and in essence, the mind, or in essence, the toxic ego, is looking to, attach itself or overly identify with something, Again, like, like no knock to anybody with a sexual orientation, dealing with the LGBT community or things of that nature, but understanding, like, how things are promoted from, like pride, like identify with pride from this situation, like in essence, like almost trying to push it to a toxic ego situation, So again, like in one way, it's best for if you feel however you feel you should express yourself sexually. If you know and feel that's best for you, that's best for you, you know what I'm saying? Is when you become overly identified with it, and that's with anything, overly identified with being black, overly identified with any, overly identified with being somebody that quote unquote teaches, or being overly identified as somebody, because no, I ain't dropped that video yet, but I did. That came to me recently too, like making sure, like to not overly identify even with things that may be, again, helpful, like whether it's working with crystals or, like for me, presenting videos and stuff like that, you know what I'm saying? Like, because basically, like, overly identifying with it will almost feel like, oh shit, I am, quote unquote, that's how the ego feels, like, I don't have this to hold on to, I must be transitioning, I must be dying, you know what I'm saying? And that's how you could tell if there is some type of attachment to our identity, is if you kind of back off of it a little bit and some kind of feel like, wait, some feel like, it's almost like you get, I don't know what's the word, but, it's like knowing that you're worthy outside of those identifications, you know what I'm saying? Like, even if you're not doing a YouTube video today, or you're not teaching a class today, or, you didn't go to dance class today, you didn't make a crystal bracelet today, that's okay, because that's not all of who you are, you know what I'm saying? Like, you're more than just that, you know what I'm saying? Now, again, of course, we got our energy of being in alignment with what we're supposed to be in alignment with, in this lifetime, what our purpose is, but again, like, not overly identifying with it to the point where, and that's how I want to say it too, to where your energy of how you, like, your worthiness, like, you don't, like, it's almost like you don't feel worthy unless you're doing this activity, and that could stem back to some type of inner child trauma of, like, your parents only showed you love, or it only, in essence, you could say all society, parents, whatever, your environment only showed you love whenever you excelled at things. And if you're not excelling at things, you start to feel like, oh shit, man, I ain't, and that's what a lot of times we go through those moments for, is to show us like, hey, it's the energy of you feeling like something wrong because you're not over here and over there and over here and over there, you know what I'm saying? Is pointing out like, hey, you may be over there identifying with this energy, you know what I'm saying? So, like, having that awareness too. A few little questions to ask as far as like dealing with the spirit guides, and they hope y'all taking notes so you could come back and check out the video to get these questions, or again, because some of these questions, other than some of the obvious ones, but some of them come from this book or whatever. But again, it's a pretty little solid little book, and in that perspective of just having like little applications and meditations to tap in a little more. But before even knowing what a spirit guide is here for, you could ask, like, if you see or sense that a certain spirit guide is showing itself, like, hey, what is your purpose? And the first thing that comes to mind is to help you to transcend the earthly plane, or to help you to see what you're here to do in the earthly plane, or to, you know what I'm saying? Catching myself with that the subconscious energy of, I'm this voice speaking from the sky, jokingly speaking on it, but even being aware, like the fact that I just kind of did that, I need to be aware, of that energy, what I'm saying? Because that may be saying something, what I'm saying? Which I know better, but still, it's like I gotta acknowledge that. Or more so, it may be assuming that most people, in essence, collectively, I guess, from the religious perspective, it always feels like But again, so asking that, that spirit guide, what is your purpose? And again, asking, how can I recognize it, or how can I recognize your energy more consciously in the future? How can I be more aware of your energy in the future? Say the future in the now moment, you know what I'm saying? And how can I strengthen our attunement? Or how can I strengthen our line of communication? Go by that oak tree over there, or go by, you know what I'm saying? And even the symbols of like the oak tree too. Because that's another thing I've been like, because I didn't notice, like, excuse me for my lack of earth plane. Is that botany dealing with trees as well? But, like I didn't know that acorns are actually the seeds of oak trees. Like I did not know that. I didn't know, because I guess I'll see so many of them, and you're not seeing an oak tree grow from every acorn you see. But in essence, what I'm saying, but especially in the wild, what I'm saying, it's like it has to get like a certain level of like fermentation or something like that for it to turn into a seed. But long story short, because also other than spirit guides, was talking about symbols as well, like realizing like the symbol of like, hey, this seed is an oak tree. Like I'm holding an oak tree in my hand. In the essence of knowing, like, like reminding self of like that you're growing, and that like you go through transformations, what I'm saying? And even with a seed, like being reminded that, a seed, in order to grow, first got to go into what, some of us, at least what we was taught from our human experience, what may seem as a scary situation, in the sense of like, this acorn got to go into darkness. You know what I'm saying? Got to go in the ground into darkness, you know what I'm saying? Sitting in the ground by itself, say by itself, quote unquote, you know what I'm saying? But, like going into that darkness, but yet it's going to sprout up into a mighty oak tree, you know what I'm saying? So, and the oak tree may be promoting and provoking the energy of tapping into the inner child. Of course, certain symbols has a uniqueness to you, in essence, to your experience, as far as like, you might have had an oak tree in the backyard at a significant other house or somebody, crib or a certain spot. So whenever oak tree showing up to you, it's probably to remind you of that person, place, or thing. Or it could be the general message of an oak tree, in the essence of, the awareness of the growth, or connection to, our inner child energy. But again, like all the everything has its little symbols. And that's basically it for the question asking part, you know what I'm saying? Which is more things you could, ask me, but that's just some simple exercises for tapping in with the spirit guides, or some simple questions, you know what I'm saying? And again, bringing it back full circle with the beginning, like I never was taught anything about animals, and I'm gonna keep it real also, because I didn't say that necessarily in the beginning. With this energy of like when I first got into, I had my first little kind of like, my first wave of awakening, because I see it's also kind of in layers, you know what I'm saying? Allowing for, that genuine grasp of certain lessons, because again, that's what a lesson loop is basically saying, like, you're not ready for this next part yet, you know what I'm saying? Like, you still not catching this part, so you need to learn this part. So it's like you waking up in little waves, you know what I'm saying? Some lessons you learning quicker than others, you know what I'm saying? But learning nonetheless. But what I was gonna say is, first starting off, it's like, again, higher planes. So it's like, I ain't trying to deal with no animal on the earthly plane. That's the earth plane. That's an animal. That's a part of the illusion. You know what I'm saying? That's not El Kebulon from Star System 6. That's a duck. You know what I'm saying? That's not, I'm not seeing no type of, again, like some outer world being. That's just the squirrel I always see, or that's just the possum I occasionally see, or the raccoon you know what I'm saying? You know, and that's another reason why I wasn't, again, like it took me this long, you know what I'm saying, to kind of, and which, of course, like, because I done brought it up before. I done brought up spirit. I done did videos on like animals and stuff like that. But, it really hit strong. I guess, again, like speaking the lesson loops, and like really hit strong. Like, hey, like, like this is an easy way. Instead of you trying, like those moments where you're trying to squeeze, squeeze the empty toothpaste bottle, you know what I'm saying, to get that little lick of toothpaste. Instead of trying to do that, you have an abundance of, signs through nature, you know what I'm saying? Because again, for the most part, a lot of things going to come to us in the dream realm, as well. And again, also in the physical realm, and every little single thing, has its little, its little symbol or its little message that it's sharing with you, you know what I'm saying? Like, if it's certain color cars you're seeing, again, colors, you know what I'm saying? A certain color car, a certain model car. I did a video a while back about that, you know what I'm saying? About, the physical representations with those energies. But I don't want to go back into it on that level. But again, seeing that I was looking at the animal kingdom or queendom as something that was like, again, like too low level or part of the illusion. Like, oh, that's going, and that be those little, in essence, those little subtle religious churchy mind frames, in essence of like almost kind of somewhat like the heaven or hell aspect, or like, where, in certain forms of new age spirituality or certain forms of just the spiritual awakening, one may tend to get extreme about trying to leave this realm, to the point where, oh, everything in the physical, oh, no, that ain't, you know what I'm saying? And it's like, nah, you know what I'm saying? Because that's another thing, too, is like the spirit realm is meshed in this realm, you know what I'm saying? Like all of this, because that's the whole thing to become aware of as well. It's like, all the realms is meshed into this one experience, you know what I'm saying? Like, just like as above, so below, you got all different chakras, different organs, certain cells that only be in your body for 7 years, certain cells that may not even last that long, you know what I'm saying? Like it's different layers to the experience, all in the one whole body, you know what I'm saying, or this one experience, It's just that the fact that, again, like this little physical representation is not the end all be all, being engaged in this world, but, like detached, being engaged but detached, I'm engaged in, doing my videos, doing this, doing that, but I'm also detached where I know, like, hey, I'm here doing a little work, you know what I'm saying, tapping in. This ain't the end all be all, you know what I'm saying? But again, like with the connection with the animals, you may have had that experience of just feeling like, all right, the animal kingdom, that's animals, that's a part of the illusion, that's a part of lower nature, you know what I'm saying? That can't be, but again, bring it back in hindsight. But, and matter of fact, all right, it's kind of, and showing though, in essence, how again, like some quote unquote gods or deities are more so from a perspective of connected to this earthly plane and don't go past this earthly plane, you know what I'm saying? But like, again, like with certain deities or gods depicted with certain animal heads or animal bodies and things of this nature, you know what I'm saying? But again, still having, a divine message, you just got to know, again, like these are things that exist within, and it's not for you to think that you got to be listening to this spirit or this, you know what I'm saying? Like, again, like we always had our pay attention to the fact that you had an inner guidance before, because that's something I realized, and that's why I had to dial it back a little bit, because it's like, hey, you was always in tune before you even had any of these deities names and stuff like that to be trying to call and tap into this energy and tap into that energy. And again, tapping into it from an internal perspective. But again, if you're not aware, and I always would say that, like if it feels like you're externalizing, then don't even do it at all. You know what I'm saying? Don't even deal with it. But like realizing like, your inner guidance and intuition, been with you, unless you was raised in a family that, that was teaching you about different deities early in the game. But, it's like your intuition always been there without, I had my little moments where I knew to go this way or do that, you know what I'm saying? And it wasn't attached to calling upon no deity or none of that. Again, and back to what I said earlier about, spirit guides working with us whether we are aware or not as well. Again, just like with anything, it's like having awareness, again, like just sharpening up the skills, sharpening up the awareness, you know what I'm saying? Because again, even with the crystals, like, now more than ever, like making sure, like, because I was a little more loose on that at the beginning of my growth, but now it's like, all right, certain crystal I work with, I sit out and write specific things that I wanted to, help me with, you know what I'm saying? And in essence, like real specific. So not just in essence regurgitating what the crystal already gonna do. Like the crystal already gonna do generally help you to connect with your spirit guides. But I need help with connecting with this aspect of my life with that energy. You know what I'm saying? Like within my immediate experience right now, helping this particular, area or in this sense, and not just a general broad sense of like, citrine, amplify abundance. Because again, the crystal's going to do automatically. They got their energies just like the moon, it's going to do what it, the elements that's involved, the geometric molecular structure, how it was formed, whether it was formed as a primary crystal, secondary, or what it's called, tertiary. I always forget that, but the three different forms of it. You got the primary, so it's like let's see, primary, secondary, and the last one is like a metamorphosis. So you got one, the first level of coming out of the magma stage. Then you got certain crystals that are formed through, being close to the crust and certain things forming it in that manner. And then you got crystals that, after coming up, actually get metamorphosized and go back into a magma stage, you know what I'm saying? Or go back into the deep within the earth, But even again, like even those aspects has again, like an energy and a message to it. Because also with connecting with, like realizing, the connection with the spirit guides, from the animal spirit perspective, it was also like, hey, and this whole time, don't forget, one of the first main things you gravitated towards, towards the crystals, like that's also in essence one of your earth guides or tools in essence, but in essence like guides, because the crystals carry a certain level of sentience, and even some crystals actually being connected may have a being connected with it. Hence the importance of cleansing your crystals. And also, like I would say this, I learned this later in the growth, but I did say it in previous videos. Like, like I would ask to cleanse out all unbeneficial energies. But if there's any energy that is beneficial to my growth that's meant to stay in this crystal, let it stay. But anything that's toxic, unhealthy for me, not meant for me, any little deity or any entity, that's from somebody else working with it, hey, you gotta leave. You gotta find another crystal, another little area to go to. You know what I'm saying? If you ain't aligned with the benefits of my now moment and my spiritual, my whole growth, my whole being, whether you want to say just spirit, but mind, body, and soul, etheric, astrally, and physically. You know what I'm saying? All that. But again, like, even with the crystals, like, again, they may be attached to a certain level of energy. For sure, working with quartz. Matter of fact, I got my little favorites, man. I love, these are Dracare, or celestial quartz. They just took the C off, celestial. As a matter of fact, this is a good spirit guide quartz. Also spirit quartz, like the little amethyst points that got little points on the side of it. But yeah, and it's also in hydro, so it has water in it as well. That's my little favorites. Matter of fact, because I could sense like the messages in them. Like, I'm like, bro, they be loaded up. To some moments I do have to like put it to the side. It's like, all right, that's just too much information right now. I can't even, And matter of fact, I like also like scrying with the quartz. Like sitting in, like actually like looking into it, you know what I'm saying? And you find yourself getting into a meditative state just by, just staring into them like that, you know what I'm saying? But also got me a piece of bismuth. And again, like also, internal energies. I think about the bismuth. I thought about, connecting with the solar plexus or the stomach energy. Bismuth, Pepto-Bismol. You know what I'm saying? Dealing with that stomach energy. Oh man, and that's something to be aware of, man. Never give up. Stay resilient, stay persevering. Because yes, everything is interconnected. And at the same time, just like we're dealing with our growth, like everything is interconnected, and we don't want to label nothing as good or bad, right or wrong. Because again, like the unhealthy habits that we may have, or the toxic energies that we transmuting, or whatever the case may be, it's neither good or bad, right or wrong. It's just a toxic energy. It's just toxic to me maintaining my maintaining alignment in my now. It's just toxic to me maintaining spiritual equilibrium. It's neither good or bad. It exists for a reason. You know what I'm saying? It's almost like calling pressure bad. It's almost like, oh man, it was a lot of pressure. But hey, that pressure made a quartz or a diamond. You know what I'm saying? Oh man, it was a lot of darkness, man. That darkness was bad. Well, no, that darkness wasn't bad because it actually made an oak tree. You know what I'm saying? I'm just sharing that because, just gotta be strong out here, man. Tapping in, but yeah, and that's what I was talking about, like the bismuth and connecting with the stomach energy, and again, like having everything in balance. It's like a little inner kingdom that we dealing with. It's like, like being the, you got your inner child, inner mother, inner father, packaged within this one bodysuit. The inner child may be inner child like, hey, I want to be more adventurous and go here, and but self-talk is healthy, you know what I'm saying? Because I think about, like even personifying it, like, all right, that you could feel the inner child want to, because I done did this before, like I could sense my inner child like wanting to be adventurous. I want to do, this, that, or the third. And then I also like, kind of hear the little parent voice or the little mother voice like, all right, but we got to make sure that, dad or the divine masculine could do whatever we got to do to provide and to maintain stability, so you could even go on that adventure. You know what I'm saying? We got to make sure we got some type of stability. You know what I'm saying? But it's like having that little, quote unquote inner dialogue, or just that understanding, but like that connection of like balancing those energies out. Like doing parts work in essence. You know what I'm saying? Like harmonizing different parts. Like this want to do one thing, this other part want to do another thing. Like having those parts harmonized. It's not, because it's not to get them all to. It's not, again, not oneness in the sense of like, oh, we're all exactly alike. You know what I'm saying? It's more so, again, like what some may say, a wholeness. Spiritual equilibrium, integrity, or harmony. Getting harmonized. You ain't gotta be exactly alike. Y'all just gotta move with harmony. You know what I'm saying? Just like a choir. Everybody ain't got the same exact voice. And matter of fact, you got the bass, you got the tenor, you got the, you know what I'm saying? Singing harmony. Y'all ain't gotta sing alike, technically. You know what I'm saying? Do this in harmony. You know what I'm saying? And also, 3 strong aspects that I had to write down with connecting with, basically just like, in essence, techniques or just aspects that strengthen that connection with the spirit guides, is being able to visualize, so having a strong level of visualization, to close them eyes and tap in the inner visuals, to be able to concentrate, because you got to be able to concentrate in order to go on those little inner meditations, you know what I'm saying, where you going, again, like meeting your spirit guide by the mountain or by this garden or in this house or whatever, you know what I'm saying. If you're easily distracted, you go to start your meditation and something like, oh, look at that over there, or that thought right there, you know what I'm saying. So concentration is important. So visualization, concentration, and also creative imagination, you know what I'm saying. Like the first thing that comes to your imagination, you know what I'm saying, when you, like, say for instance with some of these questions you that I brought up asking, with some of it, you might imagine something, just out of the blue. It's like, don't think it to be far-fetched, you know what I'm saying, because again, a lot of this stuff may not be rational, so it's like having that eye imagination, being creative with the eye imagination, and also being creative too, again, like tap into the little realms of like, meeting your spirit guides in certain little areas and stuff like that, you know what I'm saying. So creative imagination, concentration, and visualization is also some things to apply, you know what I'm saying, some applications. Different. Again, it's that little animal that's always showing up, that, and even you could probably look back and be like, damn, I was always ignoring that animal. And again, like, do yourself a favor. For those of y'all, do as you please. I ain't telling you what to do. For those of y'all who would like to try this, you know what I'm saying, but especially those who haven't really tapped into like spirit animals or, connecting with nature on that level, go research an animal that has either always shown up in your life a lot, you know what I'm saying, or that has been showing up to you a lot recently, and again, like, they're also, and I brought this up with numbers too, like synchronized numbers. Like the spirit animal may be showing you, hey, this is an energy that you need to sharpen, like, or this is an energy that you are weak in and you need to like implement into your, into your being, or implement into, expressing, or is letting you know, this is the energy that you already have, you're already tapped into, and just keep it up, like keep up the good work, you know what I'm saying? So it's either letting you know of an energy that's missing at the moment, or energy that you need to continuously, thrive in, you know what I'm saying? again, like seeing all the different little perspectives, like I done brought up the squirrel before, and like how the squirrel represents almost like the Virgo Leo cusp energy. You know what I'm saying? Because a squirrel represents playful energy, you know, childlike, little squirrel, like they chasing each other in the tree, doing that, you know what I'm saying? And then they also make sure they storing their food, you know what I'm saying? And that Virgo energy, organizing, making sure when the winter come around that we straight, you know what I'm saying? So it's like a little battle, it's like that little cusp of the Leo Virgo energy, you know what I'm saying? And again, like, perspectives of the animal. Oh, this animal is agile, you know, like a possum. You see a possum might be telling you to play possum in the moment, like, hey, you know, kind of slow things down, don't broadcast things too much. Matter of fact, kind of play dead. You know, there's an energy right now where it's better for you to play dead, and again, without even externalizing it, you know, doing it like with our inner work. It's like in certain aspects of your inner work where you couldn't like broadcast it too ahead of time. You just had to do it, because in some cases you may like broadcast it to yourself, and a certain energy kind of becomes aware of that message, almost like the saying, like I forgot exactly, I'm paraphrasing, but like, don't let the left hand know what the right hand doing, or some shit like that. But again, it's not to, as I'm saying that as example, it's not to create no type of split in yourself. We're trying to harmonize, not trying to create no splits or dual nature or dual energy. But again, like and bringing it like from the possum and playing, you know, like, hey, playing possum, you know, moving around at night, you know what I'm saying? It's like all different little perspectives, you know what I'm saying? Like the owl, nocturnal, you know what I'm saying? Knowing what's going on. Nighttime represent like the subconscious mind, or those deep aspects within that's not really seeing the light, you know what I'm saying? There may be some type of, you know, because even if it's letting you know, like, hey, there's some type of trickery, or there's some type of, you know, energy that's like being mischievous in your presence, you know, it's still not to blame nobody externally. It's still not to, you know, look at the energy as if like, oh, this person is, you know, it's like, it may be a physical, it may represent, of course, there's going to be some, if it exists inside you, it's going to show up outside of you as well. But it's like understanding that it do exist inside first. Again, like if you want to check out the new psychic vamp video I did, the new 3-hour one that I did, well, again, it's like, you know, you have to be a vibrational match for those energies to even show up, you know what I'm saying? Because also you may be getting like drained or feeling like you're coming across quote unquote vamps if you judge people or look down like, oh, they ain't woke, they ain't up to speed, like, so you got this like uppity type of vibe. So the universe gonna keep, you know, again, like, you making yourself a vibrational match by looking at it that way. So you'll find yourself in situations where those people gonna be around you until, and keep looping until, oh, all right, that's why I keep seeing them type of people, is because I keep judging them. I keep, you know what I'm saying? So it's like, all right, you know what I'm saying? Or I keep, you know, or in some way, form, or fashion, you know, it's like, again, like some type of little misalignment. But again, it's internal first. Like, how am I being a vibrational match to this experience, you know, with this person, place, or thing, you know what I'm saying? Because nothing has the power to, you know, like, only time something may have had like that much, you know, power to quote unquote get you to do something is like when we were in those stages where we had no awareness of what triggering was, or being triggered, or no awareness of our subconscious and how to work with it. You know, yeah, in those moments in essence, people's like a remote control. Something will happen, we'll get triggered, and in essence, again, like, because you triggered, you reacting, and you reacting is like, in essence, that's not responding. So you kind of like not in control in that moment. Like whatever, you know what I'm saying? Reacting. But basically, checking out 45 people up in here. Where y'all from? 45 people. Where y'all from? See, somebody asking me if I'm from Louisiana. Yeah, I'm from Louisiana. Or should I say, get all high vibrational on you? My bodysuit in this earthly carnation is from Louisiana, but I am not from Louisiana. As a being, I am the no thing that also is everything simultaneous. But yeah, as far as this lifetime incarnation, I did choose Louisiana as a spot. And there's symbology in that as well. I kind of talked about that in videos as well. What place you chose to come down in as a soul, and the symbolic energies due to the weather and the environment. Also, you could look at the animals of that, like you chose to be born, or you're in an area where, it's these certain type of animals, or it rains a lot more, so it's more the water element, or it's drier, so it's more the masculine element, it's hotter, so it's more the fire element, you know what I'm saying? Being aware of all those different little say, what about the peacock? Well, I'm not here as something, I'll share a few little things, but again, like, if you didn't catch it, you gotta do your own research, or just guess, you know what I'm saying? What does a peacock do? And I'm pretty sure T-Truth Speaker, when I said, what does a peacock do, I'm pretty sure you had a correct answer come into your mind as soon as I asked that. Again, cause that's another thing, man. We not out here, like, of course, if I'm doing a video, but even getting to that point, it's like, again, I want to be as impactful as possible, and impactful in a true, genuine way that's gonna help now moving into the future. And being somebody that like spoon feed the information that you could either go Google or this and that. Again, like, I'm more so trying to, again, share aspects like those questions I shared in this video, which if you wasn't here the whole time, you could go review. But like these different questions you could ask when you see, a certain animal, or if you sense, a certain aspect of your spirit guide, certain questions you could ask yourself. These are things you could apply for yourself. Now you don't have to run back to a universal free. You watch this video one time, and now you got, now you could build off of what you just got, and don't never have to, keep trying to dial in externally. You got some exercises and ways of tapping in with this energy for yourself, you know what I'm saying? Yeah, I had to realize that, like Louisiana area, definitely, again, a lot of the weather. Look at the weather, rain and hotness. So it's like a lot of hot water, you know what I'm saying? A lot of boiling emotions, you know what I'm saying? And it's a double-edged sword, because it's a strong, I sense a strong ancestral energy around them. But again, it's a double-edged sword, because some of that ancestral energy is like not necessarily helping you to realize that it's more than this earthly plane, and more so than just trying to like hold on to this earthly plane, or his ancestors. And again, no good or bad, right or wrong, because in essence, our spiritual growth and our shift of energy is helping, some of those energies either in the area we're physically in or the area we're from, in essence. You know what I'm saying? Because even on a quantum level, helping in the area I'm from, in the sense of like, there are some people from Louisiana who's watching my videos who's still in Louisiana, so it's like that energy of them, like again, like learning and transmuting that energy, again, because our own growth, we healing generational curses through our own, say curses for lack of a better word, but we healing these generational traumas and energies, through our own growth. But yeah, it's definitely, and also again, like certain attachments to certain deities and stuff like that. I don't knock nobody, because even when I was, connecting with like the Orisha energies pretty strongly, I always still would say like, like to each his own, but you definitely don't have to initiate yourself under any type of spirit or deity, you know what I'm saying? Again, like having to, that's why I realized, early in the game, like dealing with the subconscious. And I could also say like, taking psychedelics early in the game, which kind of like tipped the scale a little bit, you know what I'm saying? Like, woo, you know what I'm saying? But at the same time, that's what also kind of, like most people who take psychedelics, they get to a place quickly where they may not overly identify with, like their bodysuit color or what the bodysuit color may be called, like that I'm black, and then no knock to none of that, you know what I'm saying? Because again, to each his own on your spiritual growth and what you're here to do and who you're here to help. It's just like understanding for myself, it's like I know I'm going to help certain people, and I don't have to identify, I don't have to overly identify as a certain, type of person in order to help, certain people or all people in this plane of existence, you know what I'm saying? I say all, not all, it ain't, you know what I'm saying? The way this realm works, it ain't, but we got Bridgeport, Connecticut, Columbia, South Carolina, North Kakalaki, Houston, Texas. All right, Houston. Bridge of Ra. What's up, Bridge of Ra? I got Canada in the house. Matter of fact, I got y'all check out Bridge of Ra YouTube channel as well. I gotta check out one of those videos you recently did. Caught my interest. I think it's one of the Slaying the Dragon videos that kind of caught my eye. I'm like, gotta peep out the brethren talking about. Got Chicago in this thing, Detroit, but living in Georgia. Springfield, Illinois. Got that Austin, Texas. Got another Canada, New York, Virginia. Chicago, but in Iowa. All right. Matter of fact, another connection. Matter of fact, speaking to the gods and animals again. Just because it's coming up in a moment. Like the god Argus. I think it's his name, Argus or Argus. But in the Greek mythology, also connected to the peacock. Because Argus or Argus was known as the guy with a bunch of eyes, just like the peacock tail kind of got like this little eye symbol in it, you know what I'm saying? And also, if you watch American Gods, because I don't know if it was in the book form, but if you watch the show American Gods, they had Argus on there as working with what it was, Mr. World or whatever his name was. But Argus was connected to surveillance, so Argus was connected to every form of surveillance on a mechanical level, so every fucking camera, cell phone, or this and that. Almost Argus was almost like the god of the feds. He was like the god of the of the feds in essence, you know what I'm saying? But you're seeing those little correlations. That's a fact, man. I feel it. Yeah, New Orleans. And let me share something right quick without, going too deep into that, you know what I'm saying? I realized this, I caught that download, like, man, Louisiana, in essence, was almost like, and again, not on no ego shit, almost like a Egypt type of energy, you know what I'm saying? You got the mouth of the Mississippi, the longest river in the United States, but you got like the mouth of the Mississippi, almost like the Delta, like with the Nile River. You had in Louisiana, you had a bunch of people building mounds. You say mounds, but no telling if that ain't the tip of something that's way buried underneath the ground. You know what I'm saying? But you got a strong energy there. And again, I'm diving into 3D and out, because that is like getting kind of back into that like that them and us, but just for the truthfulness of the story, I'm not gonna take it there, because again, it ain't that's the illusion aspect, but like once, the colonizers, got whiff of like, what type of beings they was dealing with, like peep game, like other than, Mississippi and Alabama close, but for sure Louisiana is one of the most slowest states, like, educational systems, like Louisiana locks up the most people in the world. Like, you heard me? Let me use my Louisiana voice right quick, and again, gotta be aware of that, because even like at certain little things that kind of be trying to draw us back. But again, that's why I'm breeze through, you know what I'm saying? But yeah, like, like locking up the most people, the only state that still use parishes instead of counties, like I'm talking about, again, humidity. In order for humidity to exist, the air element is not moving very swiftly, you know what I'm saying? There's that, I'm not saying, because again, you got the knowledge from the earth, and knowledge, in connecting with the water and the earth, but it could be like to extreme. So yeah, and these, certain beings became aware of that, you know what I'm saying, and was like, all right, we gotta make sure, because again, some of the biggest revolts, and you gotta search through the stuff, you know what I'm saying, like, some of the biggest slave revolts in America, New Orleans. And matter of fact, one in my little hometown in Opelousas, you know what I'm saying? Like, it was like over 300 massacres and stuff like that. Because I did a video where I caught a download where, I realized that's why a lot of people from, like as small as the city I'm from is, it's a lot of people kind of, prospering and expanding from that area. Like it has like a little energy to it, Again, it's like certain little ley lines, certain little areas that still have that energy. Because again, that's like the south side of Baton Rouge, you got, and again, everybody, like the energy is there, but what it is like, yeah, like, is that energy of having to transcend, holding on to, the struggle and, being black, and you know what I'm saying? Because again, ain't nothing wrong with appreciating your bodysuit, appreciating your roots, appreciating, that heritage. But again, that's from a physical, perspective. That's from a temporary perspective. I ain't always been a black human, you know what I'm saying? Quote unquote black human. And again, I could help by me doing these videos and bringing forth this awareness. I'm quote unquote helping my hood, you know what I'm saying? You you want to even put it in that perspective, you know. But yeah, all that. I digress. Off of that subject. Vancouver in the house. Nah, patience. I don't look at myself as a God, and I never did really clack. You know, again, to each his own. Some people could use the word God, and it could mean source on a human experience. It could mean like source energy, but you know, like I know certain meanings of God means like certain different little. I'm saying little because I think about source, you know, and then the you know the archetypes that come after that in the sense of like, again, like the no thing. Source energy existed before words exist to even say the name God, for one, because again with all these words, you know, but for sure like the energy of God in most cases is connected to the God in the Bible, and that's like one God out of multiple different types of gods and deities. So in essence, you know, again, like that, like a God has a perspective when there's like multiple perspectives, you know what I'm saying, of you know, multiple angles or angels of perspective, you know what I'm saying? Because even with that, you know, with the angels, you know, it's like, because matter of fact, I probably need to change the name of that playlist and just make it synchronized numbers and not angel numbers. You know, and ain't nothing wrong with the angels. In the essence, it just represents, again, like if you look at the Gnostic scriptures, you know, in the creation of the world, you know, basically like the angels, the aeons, the different, you know, gods and worlds, in essence, is just like spoken word. You know, at first was the word, and the word was God. You know what I'm saying? But at first was the word. At first was the word in this realm. You know what I'm saying? Like it wasn't no word. A word didn't need to be spoken in order to, you know, create, in essence. But in this realm, so that means, you know, and again, this realm is temporary. This realm is not like, you know, primordial. This is not a primordial space of existence. It's not a primordial space of existence. So again, like, and as I'm saying all of this, you know, no good or bad, no right or wrong. You don't label it. It's just having the understanding, like, all right, you know, there's a primordial energy, a source. Again, like this no thing energy, you know, like the Taurus field, you know. Matter of fact, that's a whole nother video, you know what I'm saying? But yeah, because I'm holding myself to not going to, again, crystals, spirit guides, ancestors, but peace, Mr. Andre. That's basically it. All right, answer all the questions, got everything in. and you can check the video out to get all the the steps I went through of like connecting with the spirit guides, questions you could ask to kind of get a deeper understanding of your connection with your spirit guides and build a stronger rapport, you know what I'm saying, so to speak. Talking with yourself. I feel like a child, that Leo energy. Yeah, that sunlight. That's why the tarot card from the Rider and Waite that got like a little baby on a horse, with the sun shining. And that's what, again, the yellowish green crystals or yellow crystals help to amplify that energy and work with that energy, most definitely. Definitely, again, y'all, again, got the application, the steps of application is in this video. So for those of y'all who came in a little later, you know what I'm saying, you might want to recheck it out, because I did, because that's something I'm making sure that I've been, like if I'm going to express something in some of these videos. Now, again, they do have an energy of, because it's not about always, again, like having to give information. Like giving information is something you do if that's what you feel you should be doing, or aka teaching. But again, like just putting source into whatever it is you do, you know what I'm saying? Like if I'm just doing my jewelry, or if I'm just doing something else, you know what I'm saying? Whatever it is, just making sure, I'm pure of heart in it, and I got that source energy, you know what I'm saying, that love coming out of it, you know what I'm saying, as I'm being of service, What I was going to say, because I was going to speak to, with doing videos, making sure that, especially if I speak on a certain subject matter like this, is like having little forms of application. Like here's how you could apply these things and help yourself, you know what I'm saying? Do your own work, you know what I'm saying? But the reason why I caught myself, but I'm like, sometimes there is certain videos we may do where it's like, say for instance, breaking down a certain movie or something like that, you know what I'm saying? Whatever the case may be. But much love and appreciation. And love y'all. But stay in that spiritual equilibrium. Stay balanced. Stay whole. Stay integral or integrated. Harmonized. Don't fall victim to the they against us energy. Yeah, we know the history. Matter of fact, almost like how Lil Wayne say that, I ain't got time to speak the history. I miss them and I know they missing me. Man, I miss my dog. But I know. Cause then just be wanting to pop up. But again, like, not get lost in the duality, you know what I'm saying? Again, because if you understand how much you create in your reality, now that's something I can say in alignment with sis said, the great blackness, when you talked about like, certain beings being around because of, being allowed to, because our subconscious create reality, so whatever we're paying attention to, like again, if I start only shopping at moms and pops stores, or the up and coming entrepreneurs, if I start to focus more on that, then other stores start to cease to exist, You know what I'm saying? But again, it's like doing this in a vibration, you know, and to each his own, matter of fact, that's one thing I don't want to tell you what to do or how to do it, just understanding, again, like we're not trying to have heavy hearts, so it's not doing things out of a grudge, but doing the things out of the fact that you love yourself, you love your soul, you love your spirit, you love the wholeness of your being, etherically, astrally, and physically. You love the whole expression of your being, you know what I'm saying? And not getting caught up in the dual nature. Nobody outside you is harming you. That's all you. I done made them jokes about that in my past videos about how I would like talking about like with doing music and how I used to feel like, oh man, I can't do no song around them because I could kind of feel them low key hating on me. That shit was all in my mind. That was just some excuses. And that's how being aware, bro. Like it's all the excuses and little fearful shit and little duality shit to just waste my energy and try to get me lost in my own, and lost in the sauce from my own lack of awareness of of the whole situation. Yeah, much love and appreciation, y'all. I'm looking to again work a little more closely with the Patreon, with the Zoom energy, but just kind of being a little quiet and just doing what I gotta do behind the scenes, making little plans, stuff like that. Be aware that the quote unquote real New Year is coming up, so definitely want to make sure we tapping in with spirit guide, tapping in with that internal energy, with the highest level of clarity, and and making plans and preparing for things moving forward, especially to spring into action, around this March 21st, 22nd energy, you know what I'm saying? But spring is the solstice or equinox, I can't remember. Yeah, it's dealing with the spring energy, we want to be able to tap in. Much love and appreciation. Love y'all. And I'm even getting on that energy too, like realize that I don't really have to. And I always felt like that, and then matter of fact, right quick, probably got caught up in the YouTube video making egregor, so because after YouTube is created and all of us with different thoughts creates a egregor, a YouTube egregor, aka like a little spirit or entity made by collective thoughts, because I think about, and shout out to Seven Bomar with bringing that up too, like, cause that kind of reminded me again, like, all right, yeah, that's kind of why I wasn't doing it at first, with the pressing the like button and thing. I know I find a way to say, like, hey, for the algorithms, because it does help for the videos to show up and stuff like that. But again, it's like, if you press the like button, press it because you genuinely feel you should press it. If you subscribe because you genuinely feel you should subscribe, all that good stuff, donations, all that. You do that because you genuinely feel, that you want to do that, but not just because I say, hey, press the like button and stuff like that. So, Man, love y'all. Stay tapped in with the intuition, discernment, balance. Don't have to be on no extreme fake positive. It's all right to be vulnerable. All that, again, like the equilibrium. One moment I might be talking about and doing something that's beneficial, and that same thing could become something unbeneficial in another moment. We gotta be aware of, like, shifting with the energies, you know what I'm saying? But now is the vibrate. Y'all know what it is. Not too far in the future, not too far in the past.